All right, everybody. My name is Denise Walsh. Big welcome for being invited into this exclusive 400 Club call. You are invited into this personal training because you have at least 400 in personal volume for the month of April, or you promoted in the month of April. So big congratulations to all of you. Give yourselves a pat on the back. You have stayed focused. You have stayed the course. And it's happening. You're in the middle of your journey. So I'm really proud of you for being here. And for those that are listening to the recording, congratulations. And let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, or this afternoon, we have a special guest. I'm really excited for all of you to hear her story. She is someone who has been a part of my business for years. In fact, she was not someone that I sponsored. She was someone that was sponsored by someone who was sponsored by someone who was sponsored, and I think ended up on my 7th level. But because the cream rises to the top, and because we work with the workers, she was formally adopted and was a part of my ambassador plan. She is now ambassador herself, and this business has been truly life-changing for not just her, but her entire family. So I would love, without further ado, to introduce Ambassador Diamond, Miss Barbara Boser. Yay!
Denise, what a sweet introduction. Thank you so much.
Well, yay, Barbara. I'm really excited. I know you have been fully invested in the push group. People have gone to your parties. They've been to your new distributor training events. So I know they know you're working your business, but what they don't know is what got you here. So tell us a little bit about your personal story and why you chose It Works.
Yes, so I joined It Works in March of 2009, you guys, and I did it to help my friend. My friend Gina was in multi-level marketing businesses, and anyone she did, I always, would buy something from her if possible. And she sent me a text and she just said, "Hey, dude, come over. I'm going to wrap you." And I did. I'm a yellow, so I'm all about, helping my friends. And I went over there, not really expecting anything, to tell you the truth, other than to hang out with Gina. But she wrapped me, and I lost a dress size in 3 days. I mean, honestly, that was what really whoa, I just wanted the products more than anything. And that time in my life, I was not interested in network marketing. I didn't understand it. I didn't believe in it. I didn't have a brain cell for it. And I basically just thought anybody that did those companies was, wasting their time, wasting their money. But I lost a dress size, you guys, in 3 days. So I was like, I want more of this. I want it everywhere. So I signed up to help Gina. She was promoting to, I think, Emerald at that time. So I basically signed up to fill a box for her. And, at that time, it was $199 to sign up, and it was on sale for $99. And I think we got 2 boxes of wraps. So I did that, and then I bought another box. And what happened was weird. At that time, I had a job already that I loved. I worked in internet marketing. That was my background. And I started noticing that my friends were coming up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing? You look, whatever." And I said, "Oh, I'm using this, thing." It was kind of weird, but I was still kind of hesitant to talk about it, just because I just couldn't even really believe it myself. But the distributorship came with a website, and with my background, I thought, well, oh my gosh, if this worked for me, it might, be good to start doing some ads. I basically went into this business with kind of an affiliate mindset. I was just thinking I just want to make some money, because this thing is going to surely be shut down and gone in no time. So I'm going to get the most out of it now as I can. So, when you kind of build a brand and stuff on the internet, you want to brand yourself as an expert before you are, really. So that's what I did. I made a blog, and at that time, I don't know, I was probably 1 out of 3 people that had that in It Works. So I made a blog. People were calling, asking questions. I figured stuff out as I went along. I did not wait to do that. So I just thought, well, oh my gosh, if people are like doing this with It Works and this wrap thing and I'm getting sales, maybe I should try this with another multi-level marketing company. So what most people don't know about my story is that during the rest of that year, I signed up for I won't say the names, but probably 6 or 7, maybe more, multi-level marketing companies. And I basically replicated what I did with It Works with all of these other companies. I mean, it was crazy. I was had samples and makeup and shakes and all this other stuff going on. And it was hard. I was just like, oh my God, people are asking me all these things about the ingredients and they want samples, they want to see colors, they want this and that. I was shipping stuff out. And basically, I went back to It Works because I was like, this is the easiest company. Nobody's really caring what's in this product. They only have 2 products. At that time, I didn't even know about any of the other ones. And they would call, I would answer, how does it work? You put it on, blah, blah, blah. And the company would ship it. I wasn't having to do or deal with any of that stuff. And our commissions were bigger with It Works. So after we tried, all these other ones, we just closed everything else down and stayed right with It Works. And even still at that time, that was probably coming into 2012. I still was just affiliate mindset. I just want to make the money because surely this is going to go away anytime. And it didn't go away. It was still there. So my daughter turned 18 in April of 2010. Sorry, I said 12, but 2010. And I signed her up. So we built up a list turned 18, and later on when my son turned 18, we built a spot for him. And we were all basically just, running this business from home, selling wraps, only for sales. I was not at that point trying to build a team. I still did not have that mentality or the mindset for it. I just wanted to get the sales. So we would get customers, we would get distributors. I probably had 100 distributors on my top line. Never really reached out to any of them. It was just kind of if you join my team in that time, good luck. I mean, I hope that, you figured it out. There was a few people that signed up though. I'll tell you, my good friend Gabby, she was my first distributor. And she signed up just because I was so excited about it. We didn't know what the heck it was. And then I basically taught her to do what I was doing. And then there was another lady, Susan Ramsey from Killen, Alabama, and she found me online and she signed up. And I'll tell you, there's been so many more people, but those 2 ladies really just hit it and ran with me at that time, pretty much on their own because none of us really knew what we were doing. So time went on. My first goal was to get that $600 car bonus. Took me about 6 months to get that, and I got it for my husband. And then between, our 2 checks for about 2 years, I was ranked executive or Ruby, kind of off and on depending. And we were bringing in $3, $4, $5 grand a month between our 2 checks. I mean, that was a lot of money. We had 2 kids close to college age, and I'll tell you, we needed that. We needed that at that time. When Gina reached out to me, I had a job and everything, and on the outside, things looked good. But we were really kind of struggling at that time. We had lost our biggest client, and it was a challenging time. So I didn't really know that I needed this when it found me, but I really, really did. So, this business really did change my life. So about 2.5 years in, now we're looking at October of 2011. Denise sent out this email about this contest or something. And I'm like, why am I not on it? Why are all these other people on it? I'm signing people up. Why hasn't anybody contacted me, So I replied back to her something like that, why am I not on your email or whatever? And she was so sweet. She reached out to me right away. And mind you, at that time, our e-suites were really weird. Like, you barely even could log in. Like, you barely even knew, like, what was going on. So she emailed me, and I'm like, what exactly is this? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what should I do? What is Diamond? What does that mean? So she took about 45 minutes and explained it to me. And I promoted to Diamond that month. And then I had, my friend Gina, by the way, she quit. So all of my uplines had quit. And then once I kind of started promoting and figuring it out, I reached out to Gina, and she actually signed back up under me. So now she's a triple under me. So it's kind of a cool part of the story too. So I promoted to Diamond October of 11. So 2.5 years in, you guys, 2.5 years in, I had my decision day. I just had that day where I was like, I'm doing this business. Like, I need to figure this out. I need to take ownership of it and really like learn all of the different components of it. Because all I knew was the retail sales part of it. Like, I didn't really understand the levels, the team, the charts, any of that. I didn't want to understand it, to tell you the truth. And when I looked at that, pay, like the chart, like, all of the ranks going up, I'm like, well, I'm never going to, surely ever will I be an ambassador. So I'm just going to focus on these ones down here because I think that I could do these. But I had that decision day where I decided I'm really going to do this. So I promoted to Diamond. A few months later, February of 2012, I promoted to Double Diamond. And that was a day that, like, I'll never forget, because that was the day that I got like my first big check. I was at the airport with my husband. We were in Tampa. My husband and I worked together. So that was part of what I liked, is that we worked for the same company. We traveled together. We worked from home. And I opened up my check, you guys, as a Double Diamond. And I'll tell you, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it was $9,000. Okay, like, $9,000. Like, who gets that kind of check? Like, certainly not me. I never graduated from college. My best job I had before the job I was working now was I worked at Starbucks for 7 years. Like, that kind of money was not in my plan. I couldn't even like picture it. So I like just dropped my jaw, and Greg's like, what happened? Like, did somebody die? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, babe, you're not going to believe my check. So I told him, and then at that point, like, he kind of flipped the switch, and he was just like, okay, wait, what's going on? Like, what is this that you're doing now? He was never not supportive. I'll never say he wasn't supportive, but he just wasn't really interested in it, because he had the same mindset I had, that, this would just go away. So anyways, that was February. May, I promoted to triple. My team kept growing, checks kept growing, volume was growing, and I decided, like, I need to really, like, learn how to be a leader and learn how to talk to these people and train people, and, developed some groups and systems and stuff like that. At that time, Denise was like, okay, when are you going to quit your job? And then Greg was like, you need to quit your job. You need to, like, just do It Works full time. And I was scared, you guys. Like, I was scared to quit my job. I was making $65,000 a year, which is a lot of money. And I had 2 kids in college age. Like, there's no way I was going to quit my job. I'll tell you, I worked full time. My company was based in Florida. And I was in California, so I would get up, like, be on calls by 7 a.m. I'd be done by, like, 6 p.m., eat dinner, and then I would just work It Works, like, until, like, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Meanwhile, we had kids playing travel ball and all this other life and stuff happening, but I found a way to make it happen because I was seeing, there was value in it to me. But I still didn't want to quit my job. So finally, by November of that year, and mind you, along the way, like, I could have quit for so many reasons. Like, that year we had, we were short wraps. Like, we didn't even have wraps to send people. Like, people were buying wraps and they were waiting 8 to 12 weeks, you guys, to get them. Like, could you imagine if that was happening right now? I mean, it was insane. And, my uplines quit. Denise didn't email me. I mean, I could have had, like, a list a mile long. Like, I had work. It was too hard. I didn't understand it. I didn't think I could do it. Like there was a million reasons why I could have quit on any given day. But that year in November of 2012, I quit my job. I just quit my job and I decided, okay, I'm just going to keep on doing this. And it was, you know, the best thing Denise ever said to me was, you're holding on to $65,000 a year and missing out on $65,000 a month. I'll never forget her saying that to me. I still like can't even wrap my mind around it, but she was right. So always listen to Denise. Okay, so that was in May of 2012. Now, beginning of 2013, you guys, I was a triple diamond. The first time I went to conference, like, can you even believe that? I never went. I don't know why. I just didn't think I needed to go. I didn't really want to go. It was the first time I met Denise. We had never met in person, and we had only spoken that one time for 45 minutes. She so graciously adopted me for sure. I met people like Cheryl Galoo. I don't know, it was just so cool. And I remember my team and I, there was like 8 or 10 of us that went, and we sat in the very, very, very back row, like the last row, you know, when it came out. And I remember I got this envelope, and in the envelope it told me I was top 100. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, I didn't even know. So I got this cool little thing around my neck, and I got to walk the stage. And that conference was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that there's all these other people doing this. Like, it was incredible to see that and to feel that. And then they announced the good bonuses that year. So by March of 2013, February or March, I think it was March, I promoted to Presidential Diamond. And between myself, Greg promoted to triple, my daughter promoted to double, my son promoted to diamond, and there was like a $5,000 high five bonus or something like that. We had made $100,000, you guys, by March of 2013. So I eclipsed my 65,000 for sure. And then a couple months later, that company that we worked for went out of business. So not only would I have been out of a job, but, you know, Greg and I worked for the same company, so we both would have been unemployed had I not done this. So the timing, just somebody was looking out for me, because the timing could not have been more perfect. So you know, we were doing great. Our team was doing good. So I had the belief in the product from the very beginning, and I had the belief in the company now. Okay. But I was still missing like the belief in me. And that kind of happened in August of that year. Mark and Pam and Mike put out a contest for like top 20. And I didn't ever see myself in the same group as, you know, the Walshes, the Dempseys, you know, Melody and Blair. I never, that wasn't me. You know, like I was not part of that group. I don't know why, but that was what was in my heart, is that's just not me. So in August of that year, for some reason, I waited till the very last weekend of the month. And I started thinking, like, why not me? Like, maybe I am part of that group. Maybe I just don't even know it. Like, how far away am I from top 20? Is it $10,000? Is it $1,000? Is it $100? Could it be $10? Like, I don't even know how far away I am. So I decided I was going to go for it. I'm telling you, that weekend I signed up more loyal customers, begged, pleaded, called in more favors than I ever had for probably anything in my whole life. And, you know, so the month closed, and then Greg and I were in Europe at a wedding in Austria. So, you know, Denise, the time difference is a factor there. So we wake up in the morning, and at this point they hadn't announced the top 20, so I didn't think that I made it. And Greg was like, oh my God, you made the top 20. And I'm like, no, I didn't make it. And he goes, no, you made the top 20. Pam Souter just tagged you on Facebook. And I was like, what? Like, not only did I make it, but Pam Souter tagged me, right? Like, that was another big deal. You guys, I freaking made the top 20. Like, I was number 20, basically. So I don't know if I made it by $100. I don't know if I made it by $10, but I made it. I absolutely 100% made it. And I'll tell you that weekend, I grew my check by about $1,000 is, kind of what my goal was. So that really, I think, established like, I can do this and I can run with, these people. And then when you get there and you meet these people, you're like, oh my God, they're just like regular people. Like, I don't know. It's such an incredible like feeling to just be like welcomed, and everybody's so friendly. And, we left there from Dash and getting to sit like on a yacht with Mark and Cindy. I mean, that was just too cool. So that was 2013. That was probably the best year of our business for sure. That following year, 2014, I hosted my first wrap party. So if you can kind of imagine that, like, I'm so shy, you guys, like I don't know, me on a Zoom would not have happened in 2009. There's no way. I am so comfortable texting, emailing, Facebook messaging. My comfort zone is not doing this, or certainly not standing in front of people talking. But my friend Suzanne signed up. Her daughter and my daughter, played softball forever, and she signed up, and we did her launch party, and then nobody came. So it's like, okay. Well, this wasn't fun, but we made the best of it anyways. We did training and stuff, and I really needed that. Like, I needed to do that party, and I also needed for nobody to come. It's kind of weird, but I needed to really experience that because that's reality. It's not all like yachts and rainbows and unicorns. There's a lot of nobody coming. There's a lot of nobody showing up that comes in, with this business. Also, many times, reasons that people use for quitting. July of 2014, I promoted to ambassador. And can you hear me? Is that echoey? Okay. I promoted to ambassador. So talk about going crazy.
And then you can unmute yourself again.
Okay. Talk about going crazy, and that was like a full team effort. Prior to going ambassador, I had my 4 spots, in my chart. And I told Denise, I was like, I'm just waiting for that perfect double diamond. I'm just waiting for that perfect person to come in, and I'm just going to wait for that person. And that person came into my business in the beginning of 2014. Her name was Cindy Garcia, and she was a team mom on my son's baseball team with me. She was somebody that I talked to about at Works a long time ago, but she just wasn't interested. And she had gone through multiple battles with cancer, and she wanted to feel better about herself. So she messaged me. I went to her house. I wrapped her, and we chatted. She was her son is like a famous actor, so she isn't somebody that I felt needed this. I totally prejudged her. I was just like, I'm just going to wrap her, and I'm not going to talk to her about the business. But I was sharing my story with her, and what I didn't realize at that time was like, she needed it. I just didn't know she needed it, but she needed it. And she was like, so how do I join your team? And when she asked me that, I'm like, what? Are you serious? I signed her up that day. I asked her, would you give me a year, at least a year? She's like, absolutely. So I left there. I called Denise from the car, and I'm like, oh my God, I found her. I found my double diamond. So she promoted to double diamond that summer, and sure enough did it. And she was just like that missing piece that I needed for my ambassador, which was amazing. A few months later, she passed away. And I'll tell you that was a time in my life where It Works was it was there for me, because I was able to spend every single day with her. And there was a lot of guilt in that too. That I kind of let go of things for a while, and was just like, why do I have this? And then she's going through this. I don't know. It was really a weird time, but I know that she would have just kicked my butt, if I would have just stopped this. So we took some time and, just kind of really thought and reflected, and went into, 2015. And I know that, I'm in the right spot, still in the right spot. She would just be 100% sure with me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So 2015 was crazy. We went to the conference and found out we were in the Millionaires Club. So in my timeline, what I want you to really think about is it took me 2.5 years to start this business. There was a million reasons why I could have quit. And it took me 2.5 years to make $1 million and be in the Millionaires Club. And I think some of the biggest challenges that I've had over the last, most recent history is comparing myself to other people. Like all these amazing, girls have come into the company and they've made it into ambassador in like a year, 9 months, 2 years, I don't know, whatever, like they faster than me. And then I think like, why did it take me so long? Like, why are they doing so good? What's wrong with me? What is it? And it's still like your head just goes crazy. Like this business is so much your mindset and your vision for yourself. Like you just have to be so laser focused on what you're doing and just what you are doing, that nothing else matters. Like it doesn't matter what, all of these other people are posting or doing or saying that they're doing, it's just, those are just distractions. Like the vision for yourself and where you can take this, you guys, is what's going to drive your business. Like when I was going ambassador, I visioned like every single day, like Mark handing me the mic, like what was I going to be wearing on stage, who was going to be there, what the lights would feel like. I just thought that just like drove me because it's tiring and it's not easy, so you just really have to think about like that vision for yourself. That's what's going to drive your business. What do you want to create? Like for me, I wanted to create a legacy for my family. My 2 kids were in the business, working the business with me at that time. That summer, the ambassador push was like such a family effort. And, my daughter has now graduated college with 0 debt. My son will graduate this year with 0 debt, all because of It Works. Like, that's a major thing. Like their friends their age have thousands and thousands of dollars in student loan debt. And for this business to have come into our life at the time it came in and been able to like provide that opportunity for us to have like no debt and live that life and teach that to our kids, that's just priceless. And then just think about like, what do you want to become? Like we talk about our why all the time. And my why, honestly, like in the very beginning, it was all about the money. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I just wanted to make some money. I was not in this to like, be anybody that anyone cared about, really. I just wanted to like go under the radar, make my money and just do that. But my why changed. Like, it really became about my team. It just became about, okay, well, I'm doing really great, but I want my team to do great. Like, I want them to get bigger checks. I want them to sign people up. I want them to feel, what I feel, to feel that they can do it. And then I guess you just think about, I did like, what do you want to be known for? Like, what are people going to say about you? And you want to just always work your business with integrity and honesty and with a kind heart. I think that is like along the way, I always chose to be kind. And when things would happen, when people would leave to go to another company or, poach somebody I was talking to or whatever you want to call it, I honestly would just like, okay, I am done with that, just moving on, because any distractions or negativity is just like leading you off of your, target and your goal. So I think that over the 8 years that I've been doing this, those things have pretty much been really, really consistent in my story. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay, I have several points that I want to kind of pull out of your story. Number one, look in your reports and know who your team is. Barbara was on my 7th level, and I knew the 3 people that were on my top. Like, I knew Belinda, I knew Rochelle, and I feel like there was someone else. And I knew that they had quit. So I wasn't charting in that leg. I wasn't looking at that leg. There was random volume coming from that leg, but I wasn't digging down deep. And we didn't have the reports that we do now where we can pull top and rollers and things. And so I heard about Barbara because I did a mass email to my team. So again, are you looking in your reports and are you doing email? Like all I did is I took my genealogy report and I BCC'd everyone and I sent a monthly email. And she was like, hey, I promoted and I wasn't on your list. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that's working. Like, this is amazing. Amazing. Imagine having a working leg that you didn't even know about. Like, that is what Barbara was for me. And so be loud within your team, send out those emails, and then be looking in your reports because I didn't even know she was there. And she, you know, who knows, would have promoted to diamond a couple months before if she had known the strategy. So be loud with that. But I also think timing is everything. You know, she might not have been ready to hear that stuff anyway. And so she kind of had to come into this at her own time and in her own way. And it's been 8 years now, Barbara, and I just love that this business brings together like-minded, fun, positive. I mean, we've traveled together. I've gone to LA and done meetings together. We have done dinner and dancing and hang out, you know what I mean? Like, she's now a part of the inner circle, and I would never have even known her if it weren't for It Works. So I'm so excited. Okay, so you shared important aha moments you had along the way. I'd love to hear a little bit about what your favorite way is to generate leads, maybe some cool verbiage you've learned or a favorite way of closing. What's like a tangible tip you can leave this group with?
So generating leads, you guys, is probably one of the most important skills that you need to learn. Like, if you don't really know, like really know how to do that, like, you have to figure it out. We can teach you all day long. That if you try something that someone teaches you and then don't get an instant, result, you have to keep doing it. Like, you have to have thick skin when it comes to this business. Getting leads, like, so many people are going to say no to you. If you allow that to affect you, you'll quit. You won't be able to do it. You won't keep going. Like, you have to have thick skin. You have to be unaffected by the no's, unaffected by the people that are questioning every single comp plan, every single this, every single that want like a million details, unaffected by that. Your friends and your family will doubt you. You guys, my mom would not join this business with me until I was a triple diamond. Like, she thought that this was like unreal. My best friend to this day does not ask me about my business. She's never wrapped. She's never tried a product. And I'm cool with that. It's like, not everybody's going to love, what you're doing. Most people are going to doubt you. And oftentimes it's honestly because you probably are doubting yourself, although you might not realize it. And they're not working towards the same goals as you. So have thick skin, and be resourceful. Like, as far as leads, like, just start thinking like, how can I meet new people? Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Instagram, maybe you're on LinkedIn, maybe you're meeting people on YouTube, maybe you're meeting people in person. How are you organizing those leads? I think my favorite and preferred way is through Facebook. Okay, so I join groups, and I'm in about 5 or 6 groups that I really just kind of meet people through there, because they're groups that I have started, travel groups, food groups, groups about, being empty nesters, like stuff like that, things that I can contribute into that group. And I'll tell you, I don't go into those groups just like pitching it works. I go into those groups to make new friends. And then I add those friends, they add me back on Facebook, and then if they like or comment on what I'm posting, then I message them for sure. I sit back, I'll wait on them, like pounce on people. Facebook isn't really the place to do that. Instagram is different. Like, Instagram is kind of a different community, businesses on Instagram. It's very common for a business to send you like a promo code, a deal, thanks for liking my page, this is what we have. It's more common there. So, however you're getting your leads, just figure out the community, figure out the space. If it's like a web forum or, whatever you're doing, like be resourceful, try stuff that other people aren't doing, change things up, change your messages up. Like there isn't really like a secret magical message, it's just more like, for me, I'm just like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, I just like to kind of start a conversation with people and start talking. And I like to go from I want people to be attracted to what I'm doing, and I want people to ask me about what I'm doing. And if it takes some people too long, then I'm going to be like, hey, I know this is really random, but I can't stop thinking about this. I just have to tell you, I think that you would be so good at what I do. And then see where that conversation goes. But it's numbers, you guys. Like, you have to talk to a lot of people. You have to add a lot of people, and be very, very consistent with your, adding, and then, organizing them, like, keeping track of who they are, and building those relationships. And then that follow up is just, I will follow up with people for years. You don't stop. Like, why stop?
Awesome. Thank you. I do. I think it's really doing a little bit of everything and then figuring out what you love and then doing it a lot, There is no right way to do this business. It truly is just about figuring out your way and then doing that loudly.
Yeah.
What is your favorite personal development book?
Oh my gosh. Favorite one that I listen to all the time is Network Marketing Pro by Eric Worre. When I get in a funk, I just listen to it because he gives you just certain basic things, and then I think like, I'm not doing that. Okay, I need to get back to doing that. And really, like, in this business, like, if something's not working, it's because something else is lacking. So if people aren't like replying to your messages, go back and look at your Facebook. Like, what are you posting? Are you being too spammy? Are you being like a hunter where you're just like, where they feel like, oh my gosh, she's going to like cut me down. You don't want to be a hunter. Like, you want to be like a farmer, you know what I mean? And how are you portraying yourself? Like, if people are non-responsive to you, if you get people that, sometimes I'll see people that I've been talking to, and then I'll see they signed up with somebody else, and I can usually pinpoint that. Yep, I didn't talk to her. I forgot to, stay in touch with her, and she found somebody else that showed her, more attention and saw more value in that. And there's always a reason. Like, you always want to identify, like, if XYZ isn't working, why is that not working, and then focus on that. And most of the time it starts with you. That's what I have found. So that is probably my favorite book, to be honest. When I started signing people up and getting into that, mentality that I had to learn how to be a leader, I read John Maxwell, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And actually, another thing, I don't know if anybody else is out there, but I'm not a reader. Like, I don't enjoy reading books. So I always listen to it with an app called Audible, and it pops on as soon as I get in the car. If I'm taking my dog for a walk, I have it on my phone, and that's really how I process the information. And I get distracted really easily too. So sometimes I'll be walking and I'm like, oh, it's half an hour has passed, and I don't even know what I just listened to. So I just go back and replay it. So if you aren't like a reader, I highly recommend getting an app or something where you can listen to it on your phone.
Awesome. I agree. Let's see. Anybody have any questions for Miss Barbara? You can post them here in the chats or unmute yourself. What's your next goal now that you're already ambassador?
I want an ambassador under me.
Okay.
Is my goal. There's a couple of people on my team right now that are on fire. There's one girl in particular. She's listening right now. I'm sure she knows who she is, but something has clicked in her. I see it and I feel it, and I know that she has it in her because she is driven and she has an enormous vision for herself and for her family. So I think my goal is really that I would love an ambassador team under me, because I know I don't have that, and that's something that's really important to me. Is that, so that's what I'm working for.
How do you launch new distributors?
So it's funny. I've done over the years, like I've always done new distributor trainings. We've added them to our groups. We have, started with the 100 list, stuff like that. But I feel like not everybody's ready when they sign up. And a lot of times I feel like people will drop off because it might be too much. So lately this year, I've kind of like pulled back a little bit. And really, I'm just kind of like, okay, have you booked your party yet? What products are you using? Still doing my new distributor trainings, and then I just try to help them get their first 4 loyal customers. So Jackie Marchant and I started doing this. We have a little group chat for like our new distributors for the month of May, for example, and then we just post like congratulations, tips, ideas, advice, and stuff like that in there. Before I add people to that chat, I let them know what it is, because I don't want them to get in there and then be like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Because like you said, Denise, like when I signed up, I wasn't really somebody, like if you would have reached out to me and been all like, all right, we got to launch your party, we got to do this, and I would have ran from you like as fast as I could. I would have been like, oh, no, this girl is not going to do that. So I'm trying more now to find out why people signed up. What do you want out of this? How much time do you have? Do you want to build this on Facebook or Instagram? Like, what's your plan? How do you see yourself doing this? Kind of letting them tell me, and then making sure that they know that I'm here to help. And then seeing if we can get them added, to that group chat. And I just about once a week, for my people that signed up within that month, I'll send out a message, just kind of checking in with them. And as soon as I see someone, that signs someone up, definitely like recognition and just making a really big deal about it, because it is a really big deal.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It really, like I have done so many different things to get people started. I've done mentoring series. I've done, every other day calls. And I've found that the people that want to work will call me back. So I do a lot less stalking these days, because I feel like the people that want to will start asking questions. They'll be loud to me. So there's the balance of providing a good service and helping take people from A to B. Like they don't even know what they don't know yet. But there's also the balance of, it's like I try to be available and I text them, but like if they're not texting me back or calling me back, I don't stalk for very long, because I find that the people who want it reach out. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But I do think that what I have learned is that at the beginning, especially the personal one-on-one stuff really is important, because people want a safe place where they can ask questions and be, process through some of the things that they're trying to do that they're scared to do,
Yeah, definitely.
So Kelly is asking, in the days in the beginning when you had those down in the dumps or bad days, what kept you going?
So I can have a down in the dump bad day like any day. It's me. Like I keep myself going. I have to like notice like, oh my God, I'm in a funk right now. Like I need to get out of this. I need to snap out of it right now. And I think identifying that is really important, in developing yourself as a leader and developing yourself as a business owner. Because if you think about like I mean, Howard Schultz, I was grateful to have him somewhat as a mentor when I was working at Starbucks. Like, he would leave these incredible voicemails for us every Monday morning. And I learned a lot from him about, how many times people say no, like how difficult it is, like the weight of the world is on you. Sometimes I wake up to a text from someone on my team and it's like this big old complaint about something, and I could choose at that moment, like, I'm going to let this like ruin my whole day, or I'm just going to delete this text and let this person figure it out, because you have to figure it out. Like, you have to figure out your own stuff. And when you get in that funk, you have to like make a choice. Like, I am either going to stay in this funk and keep on like in my, sad little party, with all these like doubts and, frustrations, or I'm going to decide, like, what am I going to do about it? And typically when I decide, okay, I'm not going to do this, like, some things I do is I will wrap, and that just feels good. And I will start writing down a list of, what have I been slacking on? What have I not been doing? And kind of like re-get myself organized. I will start messaging people that are working and just, oh my gosh, congratulations, you signed somebody up, or how's it going? What are you doing? What do you have going on? And just putting myself more in that positive mindset. And typically, that really helps me, but it's not something that is like, a long-term cure. Like, you have to just know how to get out of a funk. Sometimes I'll listen to certain music. Like, I have my It Works playlist that we hear like at all of the Odoms and stuff. Sometimes I'll get on like a video chat with a sideline, and we can kind of do like a quick little venting session and then kind of move on. Sometimes I'll call Denise and I'll just be like, ah! But it's quick. Like, you can't get sucked into it. Like, that funk, you just got to just identify it and jump out of it. Whether it's, listening to a book, listening to music, using the products, getting yourself organized. I think oftentimes it's just in your mind. Like, a lot, it's just so much of this business is just mindset. So really kind of thinking about, what happened in maybe the last few days to get you into that funk, and then how are you going to change that?
They say that motivation, just like a bath, needs to be done daily. So, I think when you're doing personal development on a consistent basis, you know how to pull yourself out of those funks faster because you already have those skills. I mean, we just did a Zoom with Cammie, those who won the March Whole Nother Level group, and she pulls quotes out book because she's reading so much that it's like who she is now is like positive development quotes.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of it, is the more you fill yourself up, then the shallower the funk is, and then the faster you can get yourself out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be resourceful. Like, you just have to figure stuff out. Like, just decide and just learn. Sometimes I'll just, if I'm frustrated because like maybe, I don't know, something on Facebook isn't working or anything like that, like, I'll just get on Google and just start like learning, well, why, what are other people doing? Like, what's going on? Like, you have to like take some type of an action to change that negativity, or you're just going to like beeline it down to the ground. You know what I mean? You got to like shift your focus and get something positive happening in your head.
If you've ever listened to Jump the Funk by Mike Patillo, you go to YouTube and search it. One of the things I really stuck out to me with that is he says the first funk is always the hardest. And that's why most people quit in their first, not most people, that's why when people quit, they quit within their first 4 to 6 weeks, because the first funk is the hardest. And then the sooner you learn those habits to pull yourself out, you'll be able to do it much faster down the line.
Yep.
Let's see. I've got a couple questions. The next question is, what do you do with the person who you show the product ingredients to and they say, oh, that's not good for you?
Next.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The same people who, number one, have them Google, like, I don't spend time there either, but like Google the ingredients. They're not good for you. I mean, they're not good for you. They're good for you.
I will say,
So silly.
I'll say in a very nice way, like, oh, that's so interesting because I've been using the products for 8 years and I've never felt better in my life. But I appreciate your opinion. And then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't spend any time on that. I'd rather like that 30 minutes of talking to that one person, I would rather find like 2 people that aren't like that. So
Awesome. I agree. Let's see. And then, well, I was just going to mention the same people who that will say that will also go to McDonald's. And like,
right.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's very silly the way people ask questions or think or whatever, because they're like, what's in that? And then they'll go smoke.
Yeah, and that's not, a friend of mine just signed up for another company and I wanted to support her as a customer. I didn't ask her for this whole list of stuff. I just said, okay, what's your website? I went on there, found one thing, and I just bought it. It's like, I'm not like that as a person. So I don't want to because then those people, like, even if they do become your customer, like there's always something, like there's always like an issue, so I've learned I'd rather not have that. I want people that love the products and are excited about it, not that are like so apprehensive, because that's another thing too. And Dr. Dawn has even said that, like, if your mindset isn't right when you're using the products, you probably won't have good results, because your mind is so powerful and it's telling you, well, this isn't going to work. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't really put too much time on that at all.
Yeah, you become what you think about, even with the products. This isn't going to work. Well, guess what? That's what you notice. That's what you see, right?
Yep.
All right, a couple more questions. What did you do to have so many customers at first? So,
oh, yeah. Yep. So, in the very beginning, I started a blog, and I was at that time, my main role in the company during those years with my husband was I was the director of social media. So I had a really big network of mommy bloggers, and I had a lot of friends in that space. So I started with them, just kind of sharing it with them. We would do giveaways and stuff like that. I would blog. I would Google all random weight loss stuff, and then I would not copy exactly, but I would read the article and then rewrite it. And so I started developing that blog in order to develop me as an expert, even though I wasn't. I was calling customer service all the time, asking questions. Little did I know it was Mark's mom and dad at the time. It's so funny. But I did ads on Google. I did ads on Facebook. And I started a Facebook page. And when my first, when I got my car bonus at $600, I put everything back into the business. Probably for the first year, most of what I made went back into the business. So I started an email subscription list, and I've been adding people to that ever since. I have probably 50,000 emails in there now, if not more. I've been very consistent over 8 years as far as adding people to that, emailing them every time there's a BOGO. So really in the beginning, it was through making connections, doing contests, getting people interested that way, and through ads.
So it really is using your warm market and then expanding.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Donna wants to know, she is having trouble with distributors. So an idea for signing and focusing on distributors.
So I think you can make a lot of money in this business by getting customers. And one thing that I do with my customers is when that third auto ship is running, I'll send them a reminder, and then I ask them, like, did you know we have a business opportunity? Is that something that you want to learn about? And 1 out of 10 will say yes. Some of our best distributors have been customers. So if you're getting your customers and you're good at getting your customers, keep doing that. And then, as far as like distributors, I would, for me, like when I'm focusing solely on getting distributors, I will like start reaching out to people that I think would be good at what I do, but they haven't maybe talked to me about it yet. I'll ask my loyal customers for a referral. I will run an ad, on Facebook looking for moms that want to work from home, and get people that way. But just really focus on, distributors. And if you're having conversations with people, and they're not biting or they're not, doing it or whatever, then kind of like go back and look at your messaging to them. Like, are you coming across with any desperation? Are you coming across like, you're hunting them down? You want to be like a resource for people. Like you want to be the one that people like want to go to because they want to do exactly what you're doing. And even if you don't know what you're doing, based on what you're posting and what you're saying to people, they don't necessarily need to know that. So I would look at like your posting, like what are people feeling when they're talking to you? Do they feel like you're going to help them, or do you feel like you just need them to help you? And it's got to be all about them, 100%. So getting loyals isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that was my main focus in the very beginning, was just getting our loyal customers.
All right, one more question, one aha moment, and then we'll end the call. The last question is, how do you seal the deal with someone who says they don't have the money?
I tell them, like, you have to get the money. Like, you just have to find a way. Like, if you have to be resourceful. What was the last thing that you spent $100 on? How bad do you want this? People just have to figure it out, and they have to do it. I've suggested pre-selling wraps, but most of the time, people that just don't have the money, they just have to really want it. I'll give you one example. The girl I was talking about earlier, she's like a runner on my team right now. A year ago, almost to the day, I drove up to that One Team, One Mission to meet you, Denise, in Sacramento with Lisa. And this girl stood me up, like she didn't come to the meeting, and I had been talking with her for months. And it was the same thing, like she didn't have the money. And then I drove, and I'm like, I'm going to be in Sacramento. Like, you have to come and meet me. She's like, okay, I will. And then I got there. I saved her a seat. Like, do you remember? Like, I saved a couple seats in the front. And she never came. Like, she totally stood me up. She never showed up. And then I messaged her. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, was she in an accident, or like what happened? But nothing. Like, she didn't reply to me at all. And 2 months later, she signed up, and now, she has the fastest growing team in my organization. So I never gave up on her. Like, when people don't have the money, like, she just didn't have the money. That was it. There was no grand plan, really beyond that. And I think that she didn't have the money, and she didn't really like see the value in it yet. So people have to see the value in it. And I think that based on like your experience, what you're posting, what they're seeing out of you, that will make you valuable to them. And if you're valuable to them, they will find a way, to come up with that money to sign up. But just keep on people. Like, maybe I'll message people like, how's it going? How's your job? What's new? And I won't even like necessarily ask them, when are you going to sign up? Because when they're ready, they'll be ready. And if they feel like you're genuine and they're going to learn from you and they're going to do well with you, they'll find a way to do it. Wait, I didn't hear that.
How about I unmute myself first?
Okay.
Crystal Duff mentioned that she had a aha moment from boot camp. So Crystal, if you can unmute yourself. You can share your aha moment, and then Barbara, I'll have you close with one last thought.
Okay.
Okay, hi. I went to the boot camp out in Arizona, in Phoenix. I went with my mom, Stevie Costelli, met up with Barbara for the first time. I had an aha moment with Pam because she said something that I always had an issue with. Get emotional.
You got it, girl.
I always have people tell me they want to do it, but they don't have the money, or I'm trying to go for, like right now, the Go Fast bonuses. And Pam said, if you don't get the bonuses, that's okay. Don't try and go for the bonuses, because like if you're trying to go diamond, that's a $10,000 bonus. Would you rather have that bonus one time or make diamond and have a continual income of $2,000? So if you don't make it, don't get discouraged, because that's what I was doing. I would get discouraged, and then I would just stop working my business or stop following up. And after that, I reached 400 for the first time. And right now I'm trying to make Ruby. No, I'm going to make Ruby. And I got the book that Barbara was just talking about. She actually sent it to me, an audio book, I forget what it's called, something Marketing Pro. And then I didn't even realize that you wrote this, Denise, but I got the Retire Your Husband, and I got it yesterday in the mail, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like Hammy and Denise. I didn't even realize. I showed my fiance, and he's like, see? He's like, it's a sign. But if you don't make a bonus, or if you're going for a bonus, and if you don't make it, if you're going for a rank and you don't make it, don't get discouraged. Keep working your business, because you'll get there. There will always be bonuses in this company. I've noticed that in the year that I've been in, I'm still only a distributor, but I refuse to get up because I know that I will reach it when it's my time. So if anybody else is having problems with not making it or not reaching their goal in time, just don't get discouraged. So.
Awesome tip. And it's so true. These bonuses are created for a carrot and urgency. But I can tell you, I went ambassador and Brandon went ambassador with no bonuses. We were triple diamond, making $30,000 a month, because our team was strong. So the bonus is fun because it gives you that deadline, and who doesn't like want to win? I mean, okay, if you're red, I like to win. But we didn't have those when I started, and we still were, making great money. So that's just one way we earn. It's not the only way. So I love that, Crystal. It's fun to create that urgency, but it's not an all or nothing deal. Like, keep your eyes on the prize, because things are happening. So, all right, Barbara, close us out.
So I think there's a couple things that I'll end with. I heard somebody say this the other day, and I loved it. Don't be a tourist of your business. If you come in and visit every now and then, looks around, logs into your eSuite, logs out, and then checks out, nobody else is going to go there either. You have to be the owner of your business. You have to be the driver of your business. You have to live where your business lives, and become that expert, become the tour guide, become the person that attracts people to want to learn more about what you're doing, and really just believe in yourself, and know your business, like know exactly what your resources are. A lot of people fail because they're just like, well, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about my auto ship. I didn't know, I didn't know. I mean, there could be just, you have to know, like you have to figure it out. You have to know what your next rank needs to be. You have to understand what PVV and GV is. I mean, figure it out. Google it. Get on Google and just type stuff like that in. Get organized. Make little scripts for yourself so you know how to answer questions for people. Like, this is your business. Like, treat it like, if you launched, opened up like a flower shop, down the street, you know, you're going to have rent, you're going to have to figure out how to get customers, you're going to have to figure out how to get, you know, drivers and order flowers and have, you know, things in there that make people feel good and good customer service. Like, you're going to have to figure all of that out. And that's what this is, but you don't have all of that overhead. Like, it's the same mindset and that same mentality. So just really, like, know your business, understand what you need, understand what volume is, understand how important that is. Make people feel good about themselves, and just keep finding ways to help people get what they want. And, you know, that's going to bring back to you, whether, you know, you knew you wanted it or not, that's going to bring back, you know, what you wanted. So really, I would say just, like, own this. Just be the owner of your business and be in charge of that. Don't let what somebody else has done define your success. Because my girls above me quit. Like, I could have just said, oh, everybody quit, I'm quitting too. You know, if I would have let their decisions decide, you know, what my future was going to be, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing your story. If you guys can show her some love on Facebook and share an aha moment on her wall, something that you learned from her, that would be awesome. And your goal, everybody, is to get to at least 400 in volume next month and promote. So if you're at 400 and that was it, your goal is to get to executive. If you promoted to executive last month, your goal is to fight for Ruby. Your goal is to always kind of one up your own ante and focus on that next thing. Nikki Moore is going to be our special guest for the month of May. So we're going to do a 400 Club call at the beginning of June, and I will be interviewing our very own Ambassador Nikki Moore. So think about your questions, make sure that you get on, and so does your team. Thank you guys so much. We love you and appreciate you, and we'll see several of you at the boot camp in a few days. Bye.
Thank you, Denise. Bye, everybody.